Hello and welcome to another installment of the embodiyou video cast. We're connecting you with practices that support you in growing into and healing into your most authentic self. And by authentic self, I just mean that happiest, most joyful place within each of us that we each have, where we can connect easily to our peace and feel comfortable in our own skin, which is really the point of all this. We talk about practices that connect us to who we already are. So I'm joined today by a dear friend of mine, Anita Bennett, and she is going to be offering a weekly meditation on Wednesday mornings on embodiyou. And Anita, I could describe you in many different ways, but I would say you're deeply connected to that authentic self that I'm talking about. And I'd love for you to tell people anything you'd like about you, what you do, your intention for this class. So I'll hand it to you.
Wow, thank you for that beautiful intro. I'm super excited to be a part of embodiyou. I think it's fabulous that we are creating a platform that gives everyone an opportunity to focus on their body, their mind, their soul, their spirit, and to be able to glean from all of the instructors that are going to be on embodiyou. So first, I just want to say I'm super excited to be here, and it's an honor and a privilege to serve the embodiyou community. A little about me. I am a trained spiritual director, spent 3 years really studying what does it mean to embody your spiritual practices. What does it mean to really tap into the divine within? What does it mean to really find that space within ourselves where the imprints of our soul is written? And so I'm inspired today to really be excited about offering a meditation class once a week on the platform. A meditation class that really gives the participant an opportunity to slow down, because we live in such a very fast-paced environment and there's so many things that are pulling at us. And so it's going to be really amazing to spend Wednesday mornings, or whenever it is that we decide to do the actual class, spend that time slowing down and really becoming aware of the divine all around us and the divine within, and being able to connect ourselves to that unexplainable power and love and healing and inspiration that comes when we take moments to align our mind, body, spirit into the source of our creation. So I'm really excited to be able to offer the class. I'm really excited to be on the platform.
Thank you so much. So yeah, and I love that you said, or whenever we plan to offer it, because these will be live offerings and there will be a chance ultimately to connect with recordings. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's very prescient and foresighted of you. And I think, that's something else to say about meditation, is that it connects you to your most clear self, and your self that's able to really understand and kind of know and anticipate and intuit. Mm-hmm. And I think that, you absolutely demonstrate those qualities in this listening ear that you have to what divinity is inviting us to do. Like that inspiration, I feel like for you, that what I know of you is, it's not just a word, it's like a sense and it's a message. And I think that inspiration is just sort of a concept for many of us, but I feel that you embody an understanding of it that's a little bit deeper. And I'm wondering if what that inspires for you when I say that.
Yeah, I love that. Inspiration is in spirit. And I think over the last, I guess it's been about 8 years, I've been practicing meditation. And so I have a daily practice that I myself stick to in order to slow down and really just invite the spirit to take residence within myself and just within my environment. Sometimes we think of spirit just as spirit comes into us or spirit is just within us. But actually, spirit is in all things. Every living being is a part of spirit, and it speaks to our oneness. And so I think that when we take time to invite that inspiration, that in spirit moments, we do become more clear in our purpose, more clear in our love for ourselves, our love for those around us, more clear on what we need to do in order to really embody and live out oneness and unity within nature, within our environment. And so there's something beautiful that happens when we allow ourselves to tune in and to let go of the distractions, to let go of the task list, to let go of some of the hurt and the pain that we typically live our lives with each and every day. And we never really give ourselves moments to process what's happening in life. We just move so fast. And because we move so fast, we carry so much baggage with us. And so I think it's really, really important that when you have a meditation practice, you give yourself an opportunity to surrender and to surrender to a power that is so much bigger than what we know. And when we do surrender to that power, we become lighter. We're able to let go of that baggage. We're able to open up into places within ourselves that we just sometimes don't know exist, or sometimes we just don't give those spaces enough time and energy to really mature and develop.
It's really beautiful. There's so much that I want to respond to in what you just said. And, part of what I heard is, the piece around processing. I just did a post today, or I love how we're like on the same page all the time. I talked about how meditation, we think about it as just, making space for the thoughts. And some people think of it as clearing the mind, although it's impossible to not think when you meditate. It's a different body-mind state. But what I discussed today, in addition to that, is that it's also emotional processing.
Mm.
And so, being able to sit with and allow emotions space to be and space to move is more important. And I also expressed today how it's more important than ever, because there's so much more like noise in the emotional and mental system and the whole body because of the current crisis, this current COVID crisis, and all the stresses that it's bringing for everybody. It's hitting everybody in different ways. Some of us are getting hit financially. Some are getting hit by worrying about loved ones. We're all being hit by just seeing the news unfold. And I'm curious if your relationship to meditation has shifted at all during this crisis, and if you've leaned more towards it, or if it's just been kind of such a steady practice for you that it's just been the same.
I love that question. I believe that I have leaned in more to meditation, more time to be silent, more time to give myself an opportunity to surrender. Mm-hmm. There is so much that happens in those sacred moments when we are meditating. You and I both are very neuroscience. We love the science behind the healing practices. And so meditation really just gives your brain an opportunity to stop firing so much in that fight or flight response. And so when we can come out of that fight or flight response and we can tune into the breath, or we can tune into the birds singing, or we can tune into the fan going, whatever it is that gives us an opportunity to just connect to something that is very constant and very slow, we give our brain an opportunity to release hormones that give us peace, that give us a sense of being calm. And so I think in this particular climate, we are inundated with so much information that it's essential that we take times to come out of that fight or flight response. Just spending a few minutes watching TV or scrolling through social media can ignite such a fear response. And so it's important to really have some type of practice to manage what is being bombarded into your eye gates, your ear gates, whatever is coming into your soul. You do have to give your soul an opportunity to process and release what is not serving you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And yeah, there's so much in there. The word surrender I wanted to touch upon, because I think for people who are just entering into the waters of meditation or, you know, spiritual practice, I think there's a different understanding of that word than you and I might have a fuller understanding of. And for me, surrendering, like I talked about it in a yoga class years ago, of it's giving over. You know, it's not giving up. It's not giving up control as much as it is allowing support in. And I'm curious if what more you have to say about defining that word surrender for others who might bristle in, like giving up all control or anything like that to some divinity that they're not even sure exists.
I love that question. What you said definitely resonates. What I would add is surrender is not really about control. Surrender is about an opportunity to join with support. So much in our culture is really about controlling outcomes and controlling your schedule and control. And to
Such
me,
a contracting word. I can feel my body do this when you say control.
Right. And it's okay to control is not a negative thing, right? Control is essential in some places.
And it assures safety, right? It's a way that we stay safe is by assuring we control our surroundings. Right? And right now we don't have a lot of that kind of control.
Right. Yeah. I think surrender is really just giving yourself an opportunity to be supported. I think that in our modern day society, we are a human race that is so prone to doing things by ourselves. Surrendering gives you an opportunity to ask for the support that you need. It gives you an opportunity to invite the support you need. It gives you an opportunity to become aware that you may need support in certain areas. When you're so used to living each and every day being responsible for what do you eat? How do your bills get paid? Are your children taken care of? Is your partner or your spouse taken care of? Are you taking care of your health? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And so we have this laundry list that can be overwhelming, that we feel like I've got to get this done at this time. And especially if you're a type A individual that lives by the checklist and lives
so it's not just that I have to get it done, I have to get it done perfectly, right?
You have to get it done perfectly. And when you're living in that state, a lot of times you're not allowing yourself to be supported. And there's something so sacred when you join up with support that is available to you. And so if you're new to meditation, there is a gradual process that you have to allow yourself to more and more embrace letting go and just being present, just allowing yourself to come to a space where there's nothing to do but to just show up, to listen to my voice, and just allow your mind to calm, allow your body to calm, and allow yourself to really just be with the sacredness of who you are. We don't spend that time to really just love up on ourselves, to allow ourselves to be loved up on. When we do that, we are able to show up with more compassion, more love, more sense of helping and supporting. It just changes the way that we are rewired. So surrender is a beautiful, it's a beautiful process to allow yourself to acclimate in. You may not get it on the very first day, and that's okay. The beautiful thing about meditation is that there is no right or wrong. There's no pressure. There's no, am I doing it right? It's simply just committing to showing up and committing to the process of just being with yourself and others in community as we sit together.
And I will say that having participated in meditations led by you, it's like butter. It's like so much easier to surrender.
Thank you,
It's
my
just, no, I
love.
mean, really, the first meditation you ever led for me in that co-regulation group we started a few months ago, I was just blown away by the power of your ability to get people present and centered like that. And then when you did that meditation for the other embodiyou teachers, I was like, okay, meeting's done, mission accomplished. It was like 3 minutes of just, so it really is something that needs to be experienced, but you get a sense of Anita's absolutely beautiful presence right now. And yeah, when you get going, it's just, it's quite special. And the other thing I wanted to name that you said before about, getting out of sympathetic brain activity, sympathetic nervous system activity, and into stillness, is that it is against our survival instincts to sit with our eyes closed. Like if you sat with your eyes closed in the middle of a field when you were, during like caveman times, you would have been eaten by something. And so there's like something to be said for the fact that like we need to, and we get to in these seats that we're in talking about meditation, we need to acknowledge it's not instinctive to sit and close your eyes. It feels against survival, like I'm saying. And so acknowledging the initial weirdness that may come with it, and acknowledging that it is a different part of your brain, the more advanced parts of the prefrontal cortex that we're lighting up when we turn inward. And that's a muscle, like a body mind muscle that might be a new thing to flex, or if you haven't meditated in a while, it's just like working out. It's a thing that you do, and it gets a little bit easier with practice. So
it certainly gets easier with practice. I think I've been meditating for 8 years, and there's still moments where my mind is racing. There's still moments where I try to sit still, but I'm so aware of the sensations that are happening in my body. So it is, meditation is a practice that it's never the same. You can't show up with a agenda when it comes to just sitting with yourself.
You got to surrender, right? There's that word.
Exactly. You just have to surrender to the process and allow yourself to go on such a beautiful, sacred journey. Meditation really is a journey. There is a beginning, but there's really not an end. There's just milestones, and there's places where you stop off and you sightsee, and there's places where there's a lot of jumble and there's a lot of things going on. One of the major benefits to meditation is you really get an opportunity to think about what you're thinking about, because
I love
you
that.
get to observe what are those thoughts that are just popping up. You get to observe how you are thinking throughout the entire day. And many times we don't stop and take the time to think about what we're thinking about. Just today, after I had sat and just kind of got quiet, some things, floated up to the top, and I could sense that, there's some things that I'm worried about in this season, that because I've been moving so fast, I haven't given myself an opportunity to really pay attention to these thoughts that are around worry. And so they just keep floating up, floating up, floating up. And until I was really ready to recognize that, in the back of my mind, there's some things that need to be addressed, I wouldn't have known if I hadn't have taken time to really just sit with myself. So I want to encourage new meditation participants and those that are seasoned, that it really is a journey, and just really being open to what you experience on the journey, I think is really just, it's a precious moment with ourselves.
Beautiful. And the other thing I want to sort of touch on with that, I want to ask you about your practice, because I know that you lead beautiful guided meditations. I've heard you speak about guided meditations, and I gather from what you're saying now that you also sit in silence. And I'm curious about like that balance between sitting with the breath or watching the thoughts versus being led? And how do you, what do you incorporate and how do you balance it?
That's a beautiful question. I do not think that there's a prescribed way that I meditate. I think that I feel into what I need for the day. I love sitting in silence, but I also love to sit and listen to beautiful music when I am doing my meditation. The body is 70 to 80% water. And water is one of the most sacred substances that we have on earth, because water it holds whatever it is that is spoken into, or whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
that the vibration or frequency is of the water. So if we think of ourselves as a water being, and we think of ourselves as we take on what it is that is around us and what comes into us, when I sit for the day, I typically like to allow whatever it is that needs to come. Love, is it silence? Is it that I need to focus on a particular sacred word that I want to invite into my presence? Is it that I need to listen to someone else who has a beautiful voice that can take me on a journey into deeper realms of myself? I think that is what's so beautiful about a meditation practice, is it doesn't have to get stale. You
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
can you can experiment and find what it is that you need for a particular season. In this particular season, I find myself listening to a lot of sacred music, because that sacred music, it harmonizes all of the parts of myself while I sit and I just listen to it, and I allow myself to embrace the peace and the love and the joy that the music was created from, and that what it's doing within me as well.
Mm.
Um, I think that for someone who's new to meditation, I think it's much easier to begin to go through the guided process. As you go through a guided meditation and you allow someone to lead you in what it means to calm your body, what it means to focus on your breath, what it means to begin to visualize, as you're listening to someone leading you on a journey. But for others who may be challenged in visualizing, then listening to music and focusing on your breath may be the best way to begin. And so the meditation is almost like, it's not a one size fits all. So
Mm.
you have to give yourself permission to try different things until you figure out where you settle into that peaceful place where you can observe.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we could talk forever. I have so many things I want to add on to this. So we'll just have to do like a part 2 and 3 and 4, just so we can hang out more, because I can hang out with
Yes.
you all day. Yeah, I think I love hearing, there's no one size fits all. And I like hearing the invitation to try multiple meditations. I've heard so many people say, I tried meditation and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And it speaks to the fact that it's a practice, and it also speaks to like that you come to over and over, and to the fact that there are multiple ways in. Just like there are so many other practices that embodiyou offers that bring you to that same place, there's even within
Yes.
meditation, there's just so many. So I can't wait to get your meditation going Wednesday morning, 9:30 Eastern on embodiyou live, and look for recordings too. So yeah, Anita, anything else you want to add before we close?
I don't think so. This has been so lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, let's do it again soon, please. All right, bye.
Bye.